Make sure everybody was ready. Jeez.
Okay. Okay, so let me explain this poll before you vote on it. So essentially, we have one more next week, and then after that, everyone on the team has gone through and given their presentation on their tips and tricks or whatever. And so we are wondering what all of you would like us to do next. So the options I put here on the poll is another round of tips and tricks where we just go through and have everybody do the same thing, but obviously pick a different topic. The second option is to have everyone pick a page that you've done that you really like, and then just walk everybody through your thought process, how you did it. Just we all give each other then kind of an insight into how we approach pages, so we can all learn from each other that way. And my other idea was your pet peeves when it comes to pages. So, you know, as some of you know, Michael gets a little grumpy if you're, you know, not using the grid properly. I hate bumping heads, and they make me cry every time I see one. Michael built a couple into the skeletons. It's going to come up in his performance review. You know, so little things like that, that it's like, you know, it's not necessarily like a rule that we have, but it's just like, you know, when I see this, I think, you know, this design would be better if we did this instead. And so, you know, if we each go through kind of those sorts of things. And then the fourth option, I just put a mix of those. So we could have like, you can do any of these, you pick which one. And if any of you have a different idea, you're certainly welcome to share that as well too. You can unmute yourself or put it in the comments. So vote on that while Michael talks.
All right. I'm going to go over our quick style tip for the day. Just give me 1 second to present my screen. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go over the labels for Rochester. So they do use them as labels, but also similar to the way we use our standing heads. So they like to use them for kind of regular features. They also use them for briefs packages, scoreboards, columns that run a lot, horoscopes, letter to the editor, births, and weddings, just kind of a couple things that they use them for. I'm sure we can find examples of other things as well. They like to use them to draw attention to certain topics, geographical regions, or a particular sport. Like all of our other properties, we don't need a label for everything. They will make it clear when they want to use one and what they want that label to say. They do have a little bit of a take on them that we don't use anywhere else. I can get into that. It's what they call readouts, or yeah, that's what they call it, readouts. Let me get that out of here quick. All right, so I'm going to pull them out of the library. They're just in the Rochester library, Rochester Universal. So we have a couple already filled in, similar to the standing heads in the FCC library, where we have like briefs and scoreboard and things like that. So these are all actually the same thing. These first couple, sorry, Rochester takes a little bit to load on my screen. So all of these are the same. They're just, like I said, filled in so that we could try to save you a step or two. These are the ones that are a little bit different. So you can see that they like to have, I haven't actually seen these them use these in practice yet. I looked for a couple examples, but couldn't find one. But just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that these were in the library for them, so that if they do place it on the budget, that they'll have some different word here at the beginning, which is in a regular font, and then a word in the back here that's in medium, and then they're flipped for what they're calling the readouts. So the label will be medium, and the readout will be regular. So just showing a couple other examples. They don't actually make reference to this small black label in the style guide. So I would just make sure that that's another thing that we kind of just know is there. And if they say that they want a small label, that we know that that's available. It's just a smaller font size than these other ones. So just going to show a couple examples of how these are correctly used. I can zoom back out here quick. There you go. So you can see that it's used up here as a sports briefs package. One thing about their labels is that they are always on the left as you're looking at it, always on the left. There is a reference to them allowing it to be centered if it's with a centerpiece package where the headline is also centered, but otherwise we should just run them over on the left here. So you can see that they have one up on the top for sports briefs and they have one down here for scoreboard. I have a different page here where it's they have one as the local golf notebook. So those are just a couple different references. For your own personal reference, if you want to check to make sure that you're using them correctly or how they want, it's on page 2.25 of the Rochester style book, and that is on our site, our designer site. So that's all I got for that. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'm not sure if Joe or Alicia want to go next, but just chime in whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, I guess I just had we have a series of topics to discuss. I have one. I've been seeing this a lot lately. Please don't put borders around graphics, maps, locator maps, anything like that. It's not in the style book, but it just doesn't look good. So going forward, only keep the borders around photos of actual photos. That's all I had.
Okay. So earlier this week, Alexandria had a paid letter that they put on their budget and linked just like a regular letter. Those should always be coming through Modulist. And Nicole in Modulist told me she would take care of making sure that Alexandria is clear on that. If they should have another paid letter on their budget, we're not placing it. Paid letters need to come through Modulist for a variety of reasons. If they just link it on the budget like a regular letter, that's a problem. Don't place it. Just let the hub manager know, and we will talk to the content services team and get it taken care of. The lottery has some changes coming up. Joe is going to go through and update templates and library items this weekend, but just so you all know that starting Monday, Lucky for Life has a drawing every night. It used to be just, I think, Mondays and Thursdays for that one, and now it's going to be every night. And then on August 23rd, I believe the date is, Powerball will be adding a Monday drawing. So when we get to there, then we'll update templates and library items again for that. But just so you all know that that's happening, the copy editors know, so they'll be making sure that they pull the correct numbers every night on that lottery sheet. But just so those of you who don't follow the lottery or buy the Lucky for Life tickets every night so you could win $1,000 a day and be able to sleep at night, it's not in error, that is actually a change that's happening. We have some byline and cut line changes coming. The company has decided to not label things as forum news service anymore. It sounds like there's been some, I don't necessarily want to say confusion, but the perception at especially the more remote papers that things labeled forum news service are actually coming from the forum. And so people in Rochester are like, why are so many people from the forum writing in my paper, not realizing that forum news service is a separate thing. So what's been decided to do is that anything that comes from someone within our company, their byline will be changed to reflect the paper that they're writing in. So if someone in Duluth writes a story and that story runs in the Grand Forks Herald, and the Grand Forks Herald, their byline will say by Joe Schmo, Grand Forks Herald. And in Rochester, it'll say by Joe Schmo, Rochester Post Bulletin. Our scripts will be updated sometime next week so that anytime the byline 2 field says Forum News Service, that will automatically be changed to the name of the publication. Aaron was able to set up a nice script that checks the pub code and then replaces it based on that. So it'll know which publication it's in and it'll fix it. The only thing to watch out for is if you are working on one paper and you copy and paste over, because you know that you just placed the Lost Italian in Duluth yesterday and you're moving it to this today, to make sure that you change it when you copy and paste stuff over. Cut lines will also need to be changed to reflect that same thing in photo credits. So if Mike Vosberg from Fargo is running in the Bemidji Pioneer, then you need to change it to Mike Vosberg, Bemidji Pioneer, instead of Form News Service. And the copy editors will know that that's a change as well, so they can keep an eye on it if we miss any of those. Michael is going to go through and add a library item for each property. So there will be, in the Brainerd library, there'll be a Brainerd dispatch cut line. So then you can just put names there and it'll already have the Brainerd, so you don't have to copy and paste that from anywhere. But that is something that we're still going to have to just pay attention to and still kind of do manually, because there's not an easy way to change a script on that. That change should be happening at some point next week, just whenever stuff starts coding up that way. If I hear an exact time from IT on when they roll that new script out, I will make sure to let all of you know. And then the last thing is, I just wanted to give you all a heads up that you can expect a change in benchmarks coming soon. Right now, all of you are crushing the benchmarks largely, especially pages per hour. You're just doing phenomenal. One thing though is that the number of errors is higher than we'd like it to be. So what we've discussed is that the maximum number is going to stay where it is, but in order to earn the bonus, there's going to be a lower percentage that you'll have to get. And we are crunching the numbers based on the number of errors from the past few months that we've been tracking them to figure that out. And I will have that number for you by next week's meeting. But we just wanted to give you all a heads up that we're doing that. And to be transparent about it. There was some discussion about whether or not we should also change the pages per hour benchmark, because again, you're all completely crushing that. And, we want to make it a number that's fair and ensures that we have an even distribution of work to the degree possible. But we decided that that is not something we want to do right now, because we really want to focus on the error aspect of things. And so we don't want to try to be telling you or making you feel that you have to go faster, when what we're asking you to do is make sure that you after you do a page, that you stop and you really look at it for, 30 to 60 seconds and really make sure that you've got everything. So we don't want you to feel added pressure to rush when we want to really focus on the quality pieces right now. Anybody have any questions on any of that? All right. Interrupt me if you do. I just put the poll to show you all the results, and it looks like we'll be doing a mix of all of those things. So your team leader will be talking to you soon to figure out which one you would like to do and to get you signed up for a date to present during our meeting. I look forward to hearing from all of you, especially those of you who pick pet peeves, because that's one of my favorite things. I love to know what drives people crazy about little things. And I look forward to hearing Michael's talk about the grid, because it makes him turn colors sometimes when he's talking about it. It's super fun. I'm not mocking you, Michael. I just think it's cute. The rest of you will enjoy it.
You're not wrong, so I can't get mad.
So anything any of you want to talk about, anything we can do for you before we wrap this up? All right, well, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you who get to have a weekend soon, enjoy your weekend. And we will talk to you all again soon. Bye.
And